So we're doing a Guns N' Roses classic today, one of my favourites, Mr. Brownstone, which is why I found a brown t-shirt with a sweet guitar on it. Look at that bad boy. But anyway, I've really wanted to do this one for a long time because there's so much in it that's really tough. The rhythm, just to start with, is a tough one, but also the actual main riff with that kind of pause in it. A riff I played wrong for years by doing a doubling, but instead of just going. But anyway, we'll get into all the details now. Here we go for Mr. Brownstone from Guns N' Roses. By the way, if you're wondering, Mr. Brownstone is a song about heroin, as I discovered from looking up all about the lyrics, written by Slash and Izzy. There's a few interesting bits about this. We'll start right at the beginning, though, with this kind of Jimi Hendrix wah type thing. I've got a wah pedal as well on this video, so you can see what I'm doing. This one is just the same rhythm as the main riff, with your kind of wah picks here. Muted strings. That's the sound you're looking for, and you're going to kind of rock the wah as you do that. You're going to want to do it around the 3rd fret, I guess, just to kind of give it a similar sound to the record. It's got quite a high sort of piercing sound to it. You can do it up here as well on the 12th. Kind of up to you, really. Let's try it on the 3rd fret, though. And this is the rhythm, which you do 3 times, so there's only one pause in it. So you do that 3 times round, and then the 4th time round there's a little extra pause, so you've got... That's the 4th time round, so that extra little pause in there. Then you're coming up to the 12th fret, and you're going to slide all the way down using your 3rd finger, so... So you start on the 12th fret and use that 3rd finger there, slide it down. Now if you're playing Slash's line, you keep that wah pedal on here, and you're going to just do chords. So you're going to do E major, and he really uses the wah, especially in live versions, so he kind of goes, and then you're going to go for a D, back to the E, and then you get rid of the wah and you do these chords, D, A, B. So that's Slash's line. If you're going to play Izzy's line, it's a little bit more difficult. It's got the main riff here, which we'll go through properly in a sec, but just to give you a flavour of what he's playing. So that's Izzy's line. Now we will run through that properly, but just to let you know, I'm always kind of favouring Slash's line in these tabs. So the one little move that isn't in Slash's part is this pull-off section. So to do that, you're just going to take your 2nd and 1st fingers on your B string and pull them off. Then you're going to pull off the next string, the G, on that 2nd fret, next one, over again, and then you're going to hammer this one on and to that E power chord. So let's carry on with Slash's line then, and this is the main riff, which is something I've played wrong for a long time. I was always doubling the power chord at the bottom, so I was going, which it isn't, it's just a single one. So the riff is great because you can stay in the same position, which is what I would call like the open position, 1st finger there on your E power chord. And this is how the riff goes. You're going to use all alternate picking, open E, 3rd fret on that E string. So then come over for that B. So that's the pattern. So the only repeated pick is the power chord followed by the next 3rd fret. So down, down again. Now the next bit is interesting because Slash does these power chords sliding down here. So 5, 4, 3. Whereas Izzy does this, that little pattern that we played before. So we'll stick with the slash line here. Just before we get to that open string B and E there, just to let you know that these power chords down sometimes have little muted funky notes in there. But I'm going to do it straight just for the sake of learning the riff here in this first instance. So A power chord up to this 5th, bend that G string with your 3rd finger, and then you're going to play this as if it was an open E string rather than using the 1st finger, which means you've got to do a sneaky move from the bend of the G like that. Got to be quite quick about that one. So, and if you want to add in the extra funky notes, that's how you're going to do it. Now that riff repeats again. And I'm going to slide up to the first wah pedals section here. So let's just go through that riff one more time as we get into it. So you slide up to that 5th fret, and then you also bend the note whilst turning the wah pedal on. And then you're going to do this next riff here. So I'll run you through that, which is 7th fret on the A string there. So this is all about kind of a funky feel to it. You're going to look for hammer-ons and also these kind of dead notes that are picked. If you want to be strict about what's heard on the album though, you're going to do a down on the 7th, up pick, which is a dead note, down on the 5th, and then this next bit, you can either play it in 2 ways on the record. You either do 3 straight notes, or you can do the up dead note picks in the middle. You can use a variety of those. The live options particularly have those dead notes in. And then we go back for that same riff again. Now this bit is pretty tough. So you're doing that 8th fret on the B, 6th on the G, coming all the way down for that E there. Pretty tough, but worth doing. Then the wah goes off. So take that off. And we're going back for it again, so you'll realise that there's a lot of repetition in this song particularly. I'm just going to get the old tab up here, which I'm following, but as you slide up, put that wah on again. There's a slight variation here in the turnaround where you hear this. So follow the tab 5, 6, 7. And this is also page 2 of the tab, which you might want to download. Because it's just handy to have really in front of you. So this is the power chord section here, which again I've been playing wrong for quite a little while now. This is a G, F, G power chord movement. And there's a live option as well, which goes a bit like. But let's go for the record version here. So you've got your power chord on the G. So it's just a straightforward 1 and 4 on those power chords here. The second chord is really cut short, so that's what that line's all about in the tab. Then you use the full major chord of this D. Then the crazy wah goes on, as you do this section. Just remember that the wah goes on this 5th fret, and it goes crazy. Now this is quite a tough rhythm because I did it wrong for a while as well. I was going like this. I was going, but there's actually too many muted dead notes in that. You need to do it a bit straighter. So I'll run you through that 7th fret here. So down, down with a wah. And always do those little up picks with that muted note. And rock the wah as well. So we'll just run through it. 7th fret here. So this is where it gets interesting. 7, 5, 7. You're going to go for the 7th fret. Now everyone gets this bit wrong, but this is how Slash does it. Slide down to the 4th fret. And then use your 4th finger on that 7th on the E there. That's his kind of neat way of getting down there until the next section where I would put the wah off. And then this is a sort of little breakdown before the solo. There's 2 lines here. One is Izzy straddling, playing the power chords. The other one is Slash going. I've seen Slash do that live so many times, just playing those single notes. However, if you want to kind of get a compromise of that, if you're just jamming along to the track, I would recommend doing the power chords here. And then coming down for Slash's part and just playing that as a single note and then carrying on. That's my recommendation, but the true Slash line is just this. I'm going to have these power chords here just to finish it. Although Slash's line is truly just... But I put the power chords in the tab there because you might want to do that hybrid line like I said. Let me go back to this power chords again. And then I like to put the wah on here. There's one little variant in this time round though, which after these 7th frets here. He drops down to the 4th fret. Which I think is a nice little variation there, and we're just about to hit the solo section, but we'll just do it one more time for you with the wah. So we're doing that same pattern that we learnt before, sliding down to the 4th as we go straight into the solo section up here. So we're up there on this 14th fret with your E string. So you bend up to the 19th, and then you use your 16th fret with a slight bend up to the 17th there, which is a kind of a pre-bent note. And then you drop that down, which is what I would call like a ghost bend, so you're dropping it through. And then the next sequence is like this. So it's quite complicated, so I'm just going to take the wah off and run you through it. So just again, that first initial bend, up from the 16th to 17th, and then drop it down, 14 to 16. Now this is an unusual picking pattern, so this is upwards, and you're bending away from you. Like that. and then you do a down up, then you come up again to that 17th fret, but this time you don't have the 14th one sort of hanging on with you, you just do the note itself. Same again with that 16th and 17th, but it's a little bit different actually, it's a little bit kind of differently bent, so you can actually hear it flatter, like that. And then this is the next sequence where things get very fast. Now this sequence here, it's a really tough bend, that 17 to 20. And also there's a lot of reverb on, I'll just stick a little bit of reverb on there. And it sounds a bit more like it than... Anyway, that's the reverb sound, which I would recommend sticking on if you perhaps going to get someone to do it while you're soloing, because it's hard to stick your foot on that while you're going. But just to run you through the notes themselves, because that's the most important bit, I think. So up from this huge screaming bend here, so you want to do a tiny bit on the 14. Then you're going to come down for this 14 and 14, 16, 17. You've got to use that 4th finger there. I know I've written a downstroke on that 14 there, but probably an up is better actually. Like that. So that use that 3rd finger from the 17 to the 16. Now this is where it's kind of interesting here. There's 2 different occasions that this is played. So you go. So the first time you bend up the 16 to the 18. The second time you play it where the 16 has a bit of a drop on it. Like that second time round. So you do those little bits there like that. And then nice little shape there. And that's probably the hardest bit of the whole piece, to be honest with you, just because it's so quick, and you've got to kind of work out sometimes your preferred, so I just dropped my pick there, your preferred fingering pattern. But just to let you know that Slash very often uses the 4th finger as a quick note. So if you're going, that 4th finger is really the kind of fast note that gets you to sound super, super quick there. We're going to go on to the next page of our tab now, where this is another sequence of notes where it basically is a whole new riff. Drop down to the 3rd fret and take this 5th fret here, whilst you're keeping your first fingers across these 3rd frets here. Bend it up to the 7. All alternate, by the way. So that's one picking variant, or the one which I actually would recommend, which is above that in the tab. That all makes sense. Then you've got this bent down note with a down. Then you play this 5th with a down. Hammer on here. That's what I've seen Slash do live quite a few times, and I'd recommend that. So, and then you take that whole shape and do it again. Exactly the same, but with the 8th fret as your kind of base there with your first finger. Now the 3rd shape is actually different, annoyingly, so we can't just use that same thing again. 13th fret here and bend up to the 15th. So there's a doubling there, which is quite a nice little touch, which I only heard when listening to the record very carefully. Doubling on the 13th. So it's that pattern, so. And then you're going to do this really tough pattern here, which is the, it's quite a normal bend shape here. But you've got to be really quick, so. And the D1 to the G1 is often almost too hard to play. Now there is a little cheat which I've seen a few people do, so I will show it to you. You can just come up to the D there on the 15th. if you want. But cheating, maybe not. Maybe I shouldn't recommend that. Maybe we should just go for the real slash version. Just learn to be quick. And then we're going to do these intro kind of wah muted notes again. So just running through that again. 12th note slide down there. And then we're back into our intro riff again, which means that we're on the home straight now. There's very little that's different that we've done before, but we'll just play through it one time just because it's so much fun. So the intro riff. Wah pedal on. And then we're into this bit. I'll use the hybrid version, so or the slash version. Do the power chords there. And then we're just scrolling down the tab because we're about to hit it and quit soon. We do these same chords here. Final page of the tab now, and we're just going to run it through to the end. It's nice and easy, that same riff that we've kind of come to know and love now. This is the only bit that's different, I would say, which is the higher version of the riff, which is actually quite tough, and Slash does it like this on the 7th fret. So 7, 5, 6, drop down 1 fret to the 4th, and there's a harmonic here. And then Slash does actually play the easy riff that we learned at the very beginning. Now the last 4 notes are actually picked alternately, so sometimes the neck bends in the live version. So you bend the neck, especially in the live version, and then the end is simply. And that's it, the end of Mr. Brownstone from Slash and Guns N' Roses. Thanks so much for watching, and if you enjoyed that, then I hope you subscribe to our videos. We'll do more Guns N' Roses in the future, but thanks for watching, peace out, and we'll see you next time.